Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. The best show on the internet. That's right, it's the RR Show. It's good to see you guys again. I'm Bert, and today I'm taking you on an adventure into r/EntitledPeople to see if we can catch some rare Karens. As we set off, remember to keep your seatbelts on and keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. On the left side, you will see that we're passing the follow button, so make sure you smash that as we pass. And grab you some tea and popcorn before we set off on our first story from user FineYesterday8936. Entitled teacher tries to tell me I don't have epilepsy because I don't have grand mal seizures. I have epilepsy, and it's very weird. Like, I don't have grand mal seizures very often, but I do get absent seizures. And those are where you shake, but you don't convulse. Well, this happened when I was in high school. All of my teachers knew about my absent seizures, including a teacher that we'll call Karen teacher, or KT. I had just been put on oxcarbazepine, which is generic for Trileptal, and the main side effect was having seizures more often. I had an absent seizure in KT's class, and my friend who sat next to me, we'll call her Y, began to snap me out of it. So here's what happened next, according to my friend Y. KT: "Hey OP, why aren't you doing what I told the class to do?" Why? "She has epilepsy. She's having an absent seizure. Just let me get her back to reality." KT: "My cousin has epilepsy and convulses when he has them, so she doesn't have epilepsy and is just faking it. OP, if you don't do what I assigned you in the next moment, you're gonna have detention." Why? "She sent a massive email to all the teachers about her epilepsy with doctor documentation that she does have it. You can't send her to the office for a medical issue that she doesn't have any control over." KT: "I can and I will do so when I see fit, Y. And if you don't like it, you can go with her." Now to note something, I have only had 2 grand mal seizures in my life. Once when I was 16 and once again when I was 18. Hadn't had one since then, thank God. But I definitely have epilepsy. Now Y says, "I'll report your ass to the Board of Education if you try to do that, KT. It's not her fault." Another student spoke up and said, "Yeah, she's got a medical condition, KT, so the law says you can't send her out." Supposedly he was taking college classes for a lawyer career path or something. And then KT blows up. "OP, wake the fuck up now, you lying bitch. You don't have fucking epilepsy." Then KT reached out to touch me, but Y and the other student both jumped up and guarded me because with absent seizures, you don't touch a person when they're in one. Y had another student go get the principal, and then KT was taken to the office. Then I snapped out of it, thank God. KT was fired for intimidating students and trying to touch a student without their permission. Recently, she found me on Facebook and berated me for getting her fired. I didn't, Y's dad did. And causing her own kids to be taken and put into the foster care system because she didn't have the money to take care of them. Ouch. But really, it turns out she got her kids taken because she didn't believe her youngest had an allergy to peanuts. She purposely packed them PB&J sandwiches to lunch to prove that her daughter was faking the allergy. Her daughter almost died from anaphylaxis. Up next, we got a story from user ULFR. This one's called "Entitled Coworker Called the Cops on Me After I Had to Make Moves to Evade a Raging Driver." Please note, for the information of everyone who's going to mention seatbelts being mandatory in their cars, my passenger was an intoxicated petite female coworker I did not know very well. I am very much larger than her. Yes, I admit, her not buckling up was a safety risk. I judge that risk to be less of a problem than potentially winding up in a confrontation when it was just us in an enclosed space. Also, this was going to be an Am I the Asshole post until I found a freaking cop waiting for me at my house to give me a sobriety check. Alright, now on with the story. Earlier tonight, I went to an event my boss holds once a month, where everyone shows up to a fancy restaurant and has dinner and gets some human-to-human interaction, which my boss apparently felt was lacking. He pays for all of it, and I'm a fan of the food. Less so the people, but I feel like that's life, and college wasn't so long ago that I'd turn my nose up to a free meal. Anyway, the coworker in question found herself without a ride home and several drinks in after her ride had a family emergency and had to leave early. My car's cheap to run, so I offered to give her a lift home. It's worth noting something. I am in no way, shape, or form a speed freak. I lost a loved one in a car wreck, and I'm sure as shit not gonna be doing that to someone else just so I can get an adrenaline rush. So this coworker is the sort of girl that when she gets anxious, she does not stop talking. Like, I'm not even sure how she's able to breathe with how much she talks. For the most part, I don't mind. I'm just focusing on following GPS directions and getting her home safe and throwing in the occasional, yeah. Oh yeah, you bet. Then out of nowhere, this wild BMW with a stick up his ass decides he wants to play some games. I'm not aware of anything I did, other than the fact that I drive a fancy electric car that could have drawn his ire. But on a highway that did have a small amount of traffic, this idiot started to orbit my car. He'd come up on the left, cut in front of me way too close, brake check, then drop back on the right and pull up so close he'd smell the exhaust if my car had any. I had no idea what this dude's issue was, and I had no idea if he was on drugs, or could come close to cashing the checks his balls were riding around my car. I also had no desire to get into a car accident. The entire time I'm realizing how dangerous the situation could be, this coworker is just chattering away. I kept trying to get in a word edgewise and couldn't, so eventually I got sick of waiting and just cut her off with a voice reserved for when shit hit the fan. Courtney, buckle up and please be quiet. I need to concentrate for a minute. She may have buckled up, but she did not shut up. Huh? What's going on? What do you mean you need to concentrate? Is it that BMW? Are we in danger? I should call my boyfriend. Panic was rising in her voice, and at the same time, I was stressed out enough that I just said, shut up. Then I hit the button that saves the last 10 minutes of dashcam footage, on the off chance we got pulled over, and waited for a moment where the road was mostly cleared ahead of us. I saw the chance and took it. We shot off like a rocket. BMW tried to pursue, but if my baby's got anything in excess, it's definitely acceleration. We took off, and the first chance I got when I couldn't see the other car's headlights, I took an exit. Total time to evade? Less than a minute. Did we hit triple digits? I can neither confirm nor deny, Your Honor. Was it safer than letting that idiot keep doing what he was doing or risking him following us off the highway? You're goddamn right it was. As soon as we were off the highway, I pulled over for a minute and apologized for what had happened, and explained my reasoning the best I could. We were actually only an exit early, so we just took the back roads to her house, and she got out without another word. I kind of felt a little guilty because she was crying the entire time after we got off the highway, and that was a little bit scary. The drive from her place to mine was uneventful. That is, until I rolled down my dead-end street and saw a police car waiting for me. I had the delightful experience of a field sobriety test in my own driveway, which I passed. I gave the officer a Cliff Notes version of the events with footage to back it up. The officer wasn't surprised by what the dashcam showed and said I shouldn't make it a habit, but to have a nice night. Alright, here's a big update. I just woke up to an email from the office manager. It says, "Good news, everyone! The boss will now be reimbursing people for trips home from our get-togethers as long as you provide a receipt." And also, I got a text message from her that says, "Why is it always you?" Honestly, I feel personally attacked. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to see you in the next episode, and when you're out there, say hi to Andy for me, and I'll see you soon.